Welcome to Biography with Plutarch, where we delve into the lives of extraordinary individuals, exploring the intricacies of their character, the shaping of their experiences, and the timeless lessons they impart. Today, we embark on a fascinating journey through the life of Jean Cocteau, a multifaceted French artist whose innovative spirit and boundless creativity left an indelible mark on the world of art, literature, and cinema. Born on July 5, 1889, in Maisons-Laffitte, a picturesque town nestled in the rolling hills and verdant forests of the Île-de-France region, just outside the city limits of Paris. The charming town, with its elegant villas, manicured gardens, and quaint streets, was the perfect setting for a young Jean Cocteau to grow and develop his artistic inclinations. His father, Jean Cocteau, a lawyer and an amateur painter, instilled in him a love for art from an early age, often taking him on visits to the Louvre Museum, where they would spend hours admiring the masterpieces of European art. The family's comfortable bourgeois life provided Jean with the freedom to explore his imagination and nurture his artistic inclinations. Their home, filled with books, paintings, and musical instruments, was a hub of cultural and intellectual activity, where prominent figures of the time, including musicians, writers, and artists, would often gather for lively debates, recitals, and exhibitions. The Cocteau household was a place where creativity and self-expression were encouraged, and Jean's mother, Eugénie, played a significant role in fostering his artistic talents. As a child, Jean was known for his sensitivity and introversion, often finding solace in the world of fantasy and dreams. He would spend hours poring over books on mythology, history, and literature, and his imagination would run wild with stories of heroes, gods, and legendary creatures. His mother, Eugénie, recognized his creative potential and encouraged him to express himself through drawing, writing, and music. She introduced him to the works of great writers and artists, including Charles Baudelaire, Paul Verlaine, and Stéphane Mallarmé, whose innovative use of language and form would later influence Jean's own literary style. Growing up in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Jean was exposed to the vibrant artistic movements of his era. The Impressionist and Post-Impressionist revolutions were in full swing, and the works of Claude Monet, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, and Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec would later influence his own artistic style. He was particularly drawn to the bold colors, distorted forms, and emotional intensity of the Fauvist movement, which seemed to reflect his own inner world of emotions and experiences. The family's summer vacations in the countryside, where they would often visit the chateaux and historic sites of France, also sparked Jean's fascination with history, mythology, and the human experience. He was captivated by the stories of ancient civilizations, the legends of medieval knights, and the mysteries of the French monarchy. These experiences would later find their way into his art, literature, and films as he wove together themes of love, death, transformation, and the search for meaning. Tragedy struck when Jean was just 9 years old with the sudden death of his father. This event had a profound impact on the young boy, leaving him feeling lost and uncertain about his place in the world. His mother, determined to provide stability and continuity, continued to nurture his artistic talents, encouraging him to express his emotions through drawing, writing, and music. Jean's father had been his mentor, guide, and confidant, and his passing left a void that could never be filled. As Jean entered his teenage years, he began to develop a keen interest in poetry and literature. He devoured the works of Baudelaire, Verlaine, and Mallarmé, finding inspiration in their innovative use of language and form. His own early writings, often infused with themes of love, death, and transformation, revealed a maturity and depth that belied his years. He began to see the world as a complex web of emotions, experiences, and relationships, and his writing became a way of navigating this intricate landscape. The turn of the century marked a period of great change and upheaval in Europe, with the old certainties of the 19th century giving way to the avant-garde movements of the 20th. Jean Cocteau, with his curious mind and artistic sensibilities, was perfectly poised to navigate this new cultural landscape. As he navigated the complexities of adolescence, he began to forge a unique path, one that would blend elements of poetry, painting, theater, and film into a distinctive artistic vision. In these formative years, we see the emergence of a complex and multifaceted individual, driven by a passion for creativity and a desire to explore the human condition. The seeds of Jean Cocteau's future innovations were being sown as he absorbed the influences of his time, filtered them through his unique perspective, and began to shape a body of work that would leave an indelible mark on modern art. We see a young artist struggling to find his place in the world, yet driven by an insatiable curiosity and a passion for innovation. We witnessed the birth of a new artistic vision, one that would blend the boundaries of poetry, painting, theater, and film, and give rise to some of the most iconic works of the 20th century. As Jean Cocteau entered his early 20s, he found himself inexorably drawn to the vibrant artistic scene of Paris, a city that pulsed with creative energy and seemed to reverberate with the whispers of innovation. It was amidst this dynamic backdrop, in 1910, that he met the renowned Russian ballet impresario Sergei Diaghilev, an encounter that would not only profoundly impact Cocteau's career, but also introduce him to the enchanting world of ballet and theater. Diaghilev, with his visionary approach to dance and his ability to merge the boundaries between art forms, became a close friend and mentor to Cocteau, guiding him through the intricate landscape of Parisian avant-garde culture. This pivotal meeting had far-reaching consequences for Cocteau, as it led to his collaboration with Diaghilev's ballets Russes. He began writing librettos and designing sets for productions such as The Blue God in 1912, a work that showcased his burgeoning talent for weaving narratives that were both visually stunning and intellectually engaging. The experience of working with the ballets Russes not only honed Cocteau's skills as a writer and designer, but also immersed him in an environment where innovation was paramount, influencing his artistic vision and instilling in him a profound respect for the collaborative process. During this period, Cocteau also became acquainted with some of the most influential artists of the time, including Pablo Picasso, Guillaume Apollinaire, and Erik Satie. These relationships were not merely social, they were deeply formative, shaping his artistic vision and influencing his writing style, which began to reflect the avant-garde spirit of the era. The conversations, debates, and exchanges with these visionaries expanded Cocteau's creative horizons, encouraging him to experiment with new forms and themes in his work. In 1906, he published his first collection of poems, Aladdin's Lamp, a work that showcased his unique blend of fantasy, humor, and intellectual curiosity, marking the beginning of a long and distinguished literary career. The novel's innovative narrative structure, which blends elements of fiction, poetry, and memoir, cemented Cocteau's reputation as a bold and experimental writer. Thomas the Impostor was more than just a literary work. It was an exploration of the human condition, delving into themes of identity, morality, and the search for meaning in a world torn apart by conflict. In the 1920s, Cocteau's creative output accelerated, with notable works including the play Antigone in 1922, a reinterpretation of the classic Greek tragedy that infused ancient themes with modern sensibilities, and the ballet Les Mariés de la Tour Eiffel in 1921. A collaboration with several artists, including Picasso, Satie, and Leger. These works not only demonstrated Cocteau's versatility, but also his ability to bring together diverse talents in the pursuit of artistic innovation. His partnership with Igor Stravinsky on the ballet, Apollo Musagete, in 1928, resulted in a masterpiece of modernist music and dance, further solidifying his reputation as a collaborative genius. Cocteau's fascination with cinema also began to take shape during this period. He saw film as an extension of his literary and theatrical work, a medium that could convey the complexities of human emotion and experience through visual narratives. His early experiments in film, such as La Belle et la Bête, 1946, showcased his ability to blend fantasy with reality, creating dreamlike scenarios that were both haunting and beautiful. Throughout his life, Cocteau remained deeply invested in exploring the human condition. His writing often grappled with fundamental questions about existence, love, and mortality, as seen in his poignant novel, The Holy Terrors in 1929. This introspective work, which explores the complexities of faith and spirituality, showcases Cocteau's unique ability to balance intellectual curiosity with emotional depth. His later works, such as La Fin du Potomac, 1940, continued this exploration, delving into themes of identity, morality, and the human condition in the face of political upheaval. In the years leading up to World War II, Cocteau found himself increasingly preoccupied with the threat of fascism and the rise of totalitarian regimes in Europe. His response to these events was characterized by a deep sense of moral outrage and a determination to use his art as a form of resistance. The film La Belle et la Bête, 1946, for example, can be seen as an allegory for the struggles of the human spirit against oppression, with its themes of captivity, liberation, and the transformative power of love. Throughout his life, Cocteau's artistic vision remained boundless, encompassing a wide range of mediums and styles. His innovative approach to storytelling, which often blended elements of fantasy, mythology, and personal experience, continues to inspire artists and writers to this day. As he once said, "Art is science made general," a statement that encapsulates his commitment to exploring the mysteries of human existence through the power of imagination. As Jean Cocteau entered his later years, a period marked by both profound creativity and personal turmoil, he continued to craft works that pulsed with an unrelenting passion, despite struggling with the demons of addiction and health issues. The twilight of his life was characterized by a profound sense of introspection, as if the artist was peering into the very essence of existence, seeking answers to the eternal questions that had haunted him throughout his journey. His work from this period is distinguished by a deepening exploration of the human condition, a maze of complexities and paradoxes that he navigated with the precision of a seasoned cartographer mapping uncharted territories. In 1955, Cocteau was elected to the revered Académie Française, an institution whose very foundations were laid upon the principles of intellectual curiosity and artistic innovation. The election was followed by numerous other recognitions, including the prestigious Grand Officer of the Legion of Honor in 1960, a distinction that underscored his status as a national treasure, an artist whose contributions had transcended the boundaries of art to touch the very fabric of society. One of Cocteau's final major works, the film Testament of Orpheus, released in 1960, stands as a poignant culmination of his lifelong fascination with mythology and the transformative power of art. This cinematic masterpiece is a labyrinthine exploration of themes that had preoccupied Cocteau throughout his career: the quest for identity, the duality of human nature, and the eternal dance between life and death. Like much of his later work, Testament of Orpheus is marked by a sense of personal and philosophical reflection as Cocteau navigates the complexities of aging, mortality, and the legacy of an artist, questions that had become increasingly urgent as he stood at the threshold of his own twilight. Cocteau's life came to a close on October 11, 1963, following a heart attack, just hours after learning of the death of his friend, Edith Piaf, a singer whose voice had been the soundtrack to an era and whose passing seemed to mark the end of a chapter in French cultural history. His passing marked the end of an era in French cultural history, a moment when the curtains closed on a stage that had been illuminated by his genius for decades. Yet, even in death, Cocteau's work continues to resonate with audiences around the world, a living legacy that transcends time and space. As he once observed, "The poet is a liar who always speaks the truth," a statement that encapsulates his commitment to exploring the deepest truths of human existence through the lens of imagination. This paradoxical nature of art, where fiction becomes the vehicle for revealing profound truths about our condition, was at the heart of Cocteau's creative philosophy. Through his works, he invites us to embark on a journey into the depths of the human soul, to confront our fears, desires, and dreams, and to emerge transformed by the encounter. Today, Jean Cocteau is remembered as a polymath and a visionary whose contributions to literature, film, theater, and visual arts have left an indelible mark on modern culture. His legacy extends beyond the boundaries of his own work, influencing generations of artists, writers, and filmmakers who have followed in his footsteps, drawn by the beacon of his creativity and inspired by his fearless exploration of the human condition. Cocteau's character was defined by his insatiable curiosity, his passion for creativity, and his courage in the face of adversity. Throughout his life, he embodied the spirit of an artist as a seeker of truth and beauty, always pushing the boundaries of what is possible, never content to rest within the comfort zones of convention or conformity. His was a life lived on the edge, where every moment was an opportunity for creation, every experience a potential source of inspiration. In contemplating Cocteau's life, we find ourselves entwined in a narrative that is both deeply personal and universally relatable, a story of struggles and triumphs, of dreams and despairs. His legacy serves as a powerful reminder of the impact one individual can have on the world, not just through their creations, but through the very essence of who they are. That's all for today's biography with Plutarch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that understanding the lives of remarkable individuals helps us better understand ourselves.